Oh, hi, nice to see you. Yes, today we're going to carry on with tangles from Psalm 23. I hope you had a go of doing the last tangle in your own way. It will be interesting maybe to post them. I'm not sure how that's going to work yet, but yeah, so today we're still looking at, like I said, Psalm 23 and verse 5. I'll read just the verse before, which we did last time. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. This is the verse that we're going to look at. You prepare a feast for me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows with blessing. What I'm going to show you is again the template that we need to do this latest tangle. For those who haven't seen the video before, you just draw around to keep it within a certain size. This is 5 by 5 each side, so you draw around that. As you see, I've done one here. I haven't drawn around that. Oops, I don't think you can see what I've done. So this is what I did first on the tangle that I'm going to show you. I did this little picture of you prepare a table before me in the midst of my enemies. And what I did first was the table. I didn't put anything on it. I just did the table. And then I thought, how am I going to show the enemy coming in? So first of all, I thought I would do straight lines and make arrows. Oh gosh, I've gone too far. But make arrows coming down, right down to the table. And so I used a piece of card to get the straight lines. So I'll just show you that. So this is as if it's the enemy coming in with the arrows, and I thought the bows and arrows. So I did them. They're mostly straight lines here, and then from the side I just did other arrows, which to you would be, I did other arrows coming in from different angles, coming into the table and up and right the way around. I did these straight lines. So after that, I wanted to present the amazing fact that God in his word says he lays a table before us in the presence of our enemies, and our enemies can be many things. And at this time we have the enemy of isolation and difficulties within families if you've got sick people. So I just wanted to show how these arrows are coming in to us, and yet in the middle of it God places a table before us with things that we can ask for his help. He's given them to us. So as I was doing all these lines coming down, I'm not using the thing, so straight lines coming down, and here I did the straight lines. And what happened, I was going to, from this one, I I thought to do the bow and arrow. So coming from here, these lines were coming, and that's why I was doing the pulled string of the bow and arrow, coming against us, the enemy coming and fighting, and literally in the midst of this battle. And yet God has laid a table before us in the midst of our enemies. And not only has he given us things, but we can take of these things at this time. We can take peace. We can take his fellowship with him. We can gain comfort and strength from knowing God is with us. Here, like I said, first of all, this was going to be the bow and arrow, but I suddenly thought, as I was doing it, so I coloured it in, and suddenly it was something different, and I by this time had laid the table with different things on it that I could just sort of imagine, and then all these other areas I made into sombrellas. So suddenly it came from just like a picnic into such a prepared place for us to go, that even in the midst of our enemies, God helps us. And so then I placed the colours. I think I did the colours next and used other colours just very faintly to come in, and then laid the table and did the tablecloth, and I painted into the cloth white acrylic paint, and I used pastel for the sombrellas and different colours for the table. I did use acrylic as well, and then I wrote the verse across the bottom: you prepare a place for me in the midst of my enemies. Not that I shall ever forget doing this picture, because my own picture spoke to me of the great generosity of God. Even though we walk often in trouble, we walk in difficulties, and yet he said right in the midst of those times, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I prepared a table for you. Imagine that in the battlefield, somebody come in and saying to us, there's a picnic, there's a table here laid up for you with all sorts of things. So what God is saying, that in the trouble, have peace, and have my peace. He says to us, I've given to you much more than you know. Yeah, so I would like you to have a go of doing your own tangle on this verse, which will it will minister to you like it ministered to me, that suddenly I was aware of the greatness of God in the midst of doing this tangle on the verse, but God spoke to me. So I hope that you will take encouragement from this tangle for yourself. Bye, I'll see you next time.